Lynette with Charmed Grammy Crochet. How are you today? I hope everyone is doing well. I want to welcome you to my channel. My channel is a generally crochet channel, but I am also learning to knit. So we're doing some knitting. We have been doing some traveling, but not for the last like 6 weeks. So there are no travel videos right now, but there's a knitting video going on right now. If you're new to my channel, as I said, I mostly am set up to be a crochet channel, but now we're doing some knitting. And my channel is generally about fiber arts. If you like that kind of content, please hit the subscribe button. I'm making myself a mess over here. And if you like what you see here, hit the thumb. Hit the thummies, they're free, as Sam from Manfa Makes says. And I appreciate comments, and I do respond to all of them. Oh, goodness gracious. I'm working on a project. It is the fall shawl from Fiber Flux Knits. And it is a knit along that I'm doing with Lynanne from Nina's Knots Crochet. I am using fingering weight yarn that I bought at a local yarn store in Mississippi. I believe it's Mississippi, or maybe it's Louisiana. One day I'm going to look it back up and see which state she's really in. It's called Wool Market Fibers, and they are wonderful people there, and they have beautiful, beautiful yarn. And they do sell online, so please feel free to look them up. And so this is the shawl. Yeah, I know there's an odd hole there. I fixed the error, but I just didn't fix it well enough, I think. But I'm leaving it because I just am. Some mistakes are okay when you're just learning. As Lynanne says from Nina's Knots Crochet, I am giving myself some grace on a couple of errors. That's okay. But this shawl is... I was using, this is what we're really going to talk about today. I started with some bamboo needles that I purchased at Michael's in a interchangeable kit, circulars. And with the bamboo, where the wire part connects to the bamboo shaft, it's glued together. I have had 2 different sets of needles just fall apart there. So then someone said, go to these. So I did. These are Chiagoo red lace with, and I love this because the string has, or wire has no memory, so it doesn't stay all looped up. Love that. I really like these needles. They're pointy, but it's a dull point. I mean, you see they get really tiny, but they're like rounded. I like the way the yarn comes up over the edge here when you're feeding it through. I went to a local yarn store earlier this week called Peg's Knit and Spin, and she did not have this is a 40-inch tip to tip, and someone told me I was going to need a 60-inch as I add in the next 2 cakes of yarn. I have the yarn comes, it's fingering weight, it's 437 yards on the hank, and they caked it up for me at the store where I purchased it. And so the dark purple, the solid purple, is 1 hank, and now I started with this variegated, more variegated, I would say variegated, and that's the 2nd hank. And then I have another purple cake like this one, like tonal. And so someone said, as you make this bigger, it's going to get heavy on the 40-inch needles. And I was noticing that it was getting heavy. And so she suggested that I go to 60-inch needles so that it wouldn't be that way. So I went to Pegs, and I bought this Lykke set. I bought I think these are 5-inch needles, interchangeable, with the 60-inch cord. Now, the point on this needle is pointy, very sharp. And let's see. This is the Lykke, this is the Chiagoo, or Chiagoo. This is like more tapered here, but this has a sharper tip on it, 100% sharper tip. Lynanne was complaining one time with the needle she was using that when you push the needle down through your work, it was hurting her finger. This one hurts my finger. The Chiagoo does not. It's a blunter. It's still pointy, but it's blunter than the Lykke. Now, I have the Lykkes on here. They do have the hole because they're interchangeable, so you have to lock it. And I don't know why I'm having trouble getting this one to lock in place. This one, spinning. Now, I know, and so I need you guys to tell me how you know if it's locked in place. It doesn't click. It doesn't, I don't feel anything. I feel like I'm sticking this little, don't mind the crinkle, but they give you this little key, and you're supposed to stick it in this little hole, tighten, because it comes apart. In case you don't understand how interchangeables work, this comes apart. So this is in one package, the whole wire, and then these two little tips are in the other package. Together they were 20 bucks. So you can use this on any other Lykke. I don't know if there's other brands that it'll fit with, but when you get the interchangeable, so you screw them together like so, and then you take this little key and you're supposed to stick it in here and twist it. Well, nothing feels different as I turn it. With it in there, very tight. Then you take it out. Now it's locked. It doesn't twist, but it was twisting a minute ago, before I put it back on. This one twists. And so I'm going to relock it. And I'm just going to turn this. I just don't know what that does. I don't feel anything inside there. Now it's not twisting. So that's good. So the difference is this is a longer cord, but that's just the cord, and that has nothing. It's a non-memory cord. It's silver, not red, so I'll know it's the Lykke cord. The cords aren't an issue. I think I like the Chiagoo better. The points on this one were so pointy that a couple of times it split my thread or my yarn. I did not have that problem with the red lace. This being not an interchangeable, which I understand the idea of the interchangeable. Interchangeable, obviously, you just need one set here, and you in a couple different sizes. You don't need to get these are 5 millimeter or 4 millimeter. What are they? I think they're 5 millimeter. 60-inch. It does say on here. Oh, 4 millimeter. You can read it on this one. Way better. So that's nice. You can read it on this. The size is here, and it's easy to read on the Lykke. On the Chiagoo, it's smaller, harder to read. I can barely see it, but yeah, 4 millimeter. So Now, if I need a 60-inch cord or a 6-inch cord or 18, whatever, I have to get a whole new set with a whole new cord. On the interchangeables, you just need the different size cords, and you can put your 4-inch on any of them. I understand that. But now this is the second, oh, it's loose again. This is the second time, a second interchangeable, because I have the bamboo are also interchangeable. So this is the second kind of interchangeable needle that I've used, and they come loose. Does anybody else have that problem? Am I using the key wrong? Is there supposed to be like a click or a feel like it's clicked or anything? Because this is driving me crazy, because I don't want, there's a lot of stitches on this thing now. And if they fall off in the middle because my needles came apart again, I will just cry. I mean, it does go, if I stretch it out, it is as long as my arm span, so it's got to be 60. Yeah, I mean, it is almost point to point. I can get it, so it's probably, if this is 60 inches, it's probably 55 inches across. Do you know how many stitches that is? A lot. That's what I'm going to tell you. It's a lot of stitches. I am starting, and I'm sure I messed it up somewhere along the way, because I generally do. The lace part, I am starting the lace part again. That's what's up here at the top. So I've done one row of yarn over. You do a yarn over and then 2 together, and then yarn over and 2 together. And then when I come back, I do a purl row, whereas all of this is knit. But when I come back, I do a purl row. These 2 rows took me like 900 years, I swear to God. The 2 together, I have had some people give me some tips on how to make it easier, but I find it very fumbly. I use the tips like where I pull down the second stitch a little bit before I try to get them together. I've done that when it's been tight. It just is a slow process for me. And the purl stitch is still a slow process for me. I can't seem to keep my tension on the yarn when I'm purling. And when I'm knitting, I'm getting pretty good at that. Not where I'd really say I was good at it, but I mean, I'm picking up a little bit of speed. I feel real comfortable. But the purling, particularly with the thin yarn, when I'm purling on my Sisterhood of the Traveling Purple scarf, and I'm using a 4-weight acrylic and a 5 or 6 millimeter, I think 6 millimeter needles, the purling is way easier. On this, with this fingering weight yarn, which is fumbly anyway, because, you know, I could crochet with it, no problem. But on the knitting, on the purling part of it, I keep getting it loose on my finger. I have a really hard time keeping tension on the purl side. So that being said, these 2 rows did take me all night last night. I knitted like 2 rows, and then I purled, or I did the lace, the 2, yarn over, and then I couldn't see anymore, and I had to put it down, and I did the purl row today, the first purl row. And I do 2 rows of that, and then I go back to the just knit every stitch. But that's what's giving me my lace. Here, I'll show this. The lace looks like this. Yeah, you can see. Stretch it out a little maybe. But the lace part looks like that. And I was doing it like every time I had like 50 stitches. Now I'm just doing it every time there's a good size section in between, because I'm not counting them all. So they're just sporadically put in. I probably could have done a couple more rows of just the knitting before I added the lace, but I didn't. I was anxious to try the lace with the new needles and see how well I liked it. One thing I've noticed about these needles, and it's the same, I think on the bamboo needles that were interchangeable that I was using, I had the same problem. When you get to here, I feel like my yarn wants to catch here. When I'm trying to push the work up, it doesn't, it like catches. On here, it was a much smoother transition through this part of your work. Much smoother transition on this needle, and I don't know, because I'm not experienced enough to know that if the cord is attached, it's always a smoother transition. Because this is my only needles with the cord attached. I really liked how it just glides up very smoothly. Here, there's this little bump, and particularly I don't know if it would be that way with the bigger yarn, but with this little yarn, it really wants to get stuck there. I think if it's just the knit stitch, it wouldn't be as bad, but with after you do the two together, you're kind of got twists in I do anyway. I end up with some that are like a little twisted, and they were getting stuck when they were together, because they're tighter. Now I think it'll be easier. We'll see. Because these have been purled once, so there's no, the stitches aren't as tight as when you're doing the two together. Of course, the yarn slid over the bump really easy, but the two together was definitely sticking here. And I would have to fumble with it. You can't just push it up. Which A, slows me down, but B, I'm always concerned I'm going to be pushing up on this end, and this end's I'm going to lose control of this end, and they're going to come flying off. And that does make me cry. So that is my my thoughts between the Lykke and the Chiagoo. I like this. I think I like this one better so far, because I like the smoothness here. And like I said, I don't know if that's because this is not interchangeable that it's smooth. If you have these needles that are interchangeable, let me know how you feel about that. Do you get a stuck? Do you get a bump? Like here, I can barely feel my fingernail change from going over the cord to the, you really don't hardly feel that transition. Oh gosh, my nails are so bad. Here, my fingernail wants to stop. And that's what the yarn does. It doesn't glide smooth. It gets that little catch. So if you have these in interchangeables, do you feel that on the Chiagoo? Chow guy. I know. You're gonna correct me 100 times in the comments. But on the red lace, and is it still red lace if they're interchangeable? I don't know. But I do feel that. Does anybody else ever get that problem? And is it just because the yarn is small that it's more sensitive to the little bump? I'm just curious on that. So let me know in the comments if you know. And how do you feel about the difference between the Lykke and the Chiagoo? Chiagoo, that's right. And whatever other needles you use. These are, I have Boyd, but they're straight needles. And I liked the bamboo from Michaels, except that they keep falling apart. I have a metal set from Michaels that was loops and threads as well. It's in the storage unit somewhere. I brought the wooden set when we left for our travel adventures, I brought because the metal is slippery, or I knew it would be, and I know I'm going to be a beginning knitter and don't want, I thought the drag of the bamboo would be helpful. So that's what I was trying to use. So anyway, let me know your feelings on this. Maybe this is something we can talk about even on Tea for Tuesday's tea at 2. And on that, it's going to be a couple of weeks before we can get that going, maybe a month or probably better. Oh God, I just squirreled. My whole brain just squirreled. Oh yeah. I have been informed that, it might overlap a little bit with Creative Grandma does a live at noon. If it overlaps, just come when she's done. That's cool. If hers goes long and overlaps into mine, that's okay. Just come when she's done. I just wanted to throw that out there. If anybody wants to be a guest on the show when we get the program going, let me know. I'd like to line up some visitors to have tea with us, or whatever drink you want to have. Don't forget that on the 1st, July 1st, I'm scheduled to go to Peg's Knit and Sip and interview them and have them show us their store. Got a lot of yarn in that little store. And it's a really cute shopping center, so maybe I'd do a little drive around and show you the shopping center, because it's like the downtown Olmsted Falls, which is a tiny little community. And they just have a lot of it is old buildings that they've now turned into shops. But there was a train depot there at one time, I guess. And so there's a train, and what was, I guess, part of the train station is now shops. So some the buildings some of them are very old. So maybe we'll do just a little drive through before we do the yarn store, just to see the little downtown area. I'm going to assume that's the downtown area. Anyway, it's a cute little shopping area. Enough about that, but that's on the 1st. It won't be live, but I will be there. But if you're in the neighborhood and you want to come by, I will be there at 11 o'clock. So I'd like to see you come and join us. And that's all I got for you guys today. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks so much for liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, and thummies. Bye-bye.